Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Our top story today, a huge cache of confidential documents has revealed how the rich and powerful use tax havens to hide their wealth. 11 million documents were leaked from one of the world's most secretive companies, a law firm called Mossack Fonseca, based in Panama. They show how it helped clients launder money, dodge sanctions and evade tax. The company says it's operated beyond reproach for 40 years and has never been charged with criminal wrongdoing. Panorama's Richard Bilton reports.
It is a unique glimpse of how offshore works. For 40 years, Mossack Fonseca have helped the rich and powerful hide their wealth. The documents were leaked to the German newspaper Süddeutsche Zeitung and shared with the international consortium of investigative journalists. Panorama has been analysing the documents. They show how far Mossack Fonseca was prepared to go to help its clients.
I wanted to earn enough money so I can create the life I really wanted to, and I did.
Mariana Olszewski is a business guru on American television.
It's all about living the life of your dreams and taking control of your money.
That's exactly what she wanted to do, to bring back $1.8 million secretly hidden offshore. But she did not want to reveal her identity. The files show Mossack Fonseca came up with a solution. In an email they offered, "We may use a natural person who will act as the beneficial owner." Faking the ownership of a company is a blatant breach of anti-money laundering rules. But they offered, and she accepted.
When a company like Mossack Fonseca offers fake beneficial owner services, that is completely undermining all international efforts to open up company ownership. Then you completely pull the rug out from under the whole system.
Ms. Olszewski didn't respond to our questions. Mossack Fonseca say the allegations are unsupported and false. They have always complied with international protocols to ensure companies are not used for illicit purposes. Richard Bilton, BBC News.
And we can talk to Richard Bilton now. Tell us more then about this huge leak.
Well, I think it's the sort of scale of the leak that gives us this unprecedented glimpse into the secret world of offshore. Mossack Fonseca, they sold products like foundations and trusts and nominee directorships. Of course, these can be used legally, but in the files it's clear that these were being used to kind of hide people's wealth from the authorities. So initially the leak was to a German newspaper, Süddeutsche Zeitung, and they passed that on to the international consortium of investigative journalists. And in the UK, that's the BBC Panorama and the Guardian newspaper. But around the world, there are 107 organisations, media organisations, sort of poring over these files. And it is that breadth, the depth, if you like, of the number of people involved in these files. So that's 72 current or former heads of state linked to these files, including dictators like Mubarak and Gaddafi.
And tell us more about some of the deals contained within these files.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth bearing in mind that Mossack Fonseca promised their clients, you know, absolute confidentiality. So these are arrangements that people thought nobody would see, not us, not the authorities, not anyone. They were all sort of snuck away, but now we can see them. And there are some eye-catching ones. So, for example, there is a suspected billion-dollar money laundering ring being operated by people who are close associates of President Putin. That's what seems to spring from the files. There's also the Icelandic Prime Minister, Sigmundur Gunnlaugsson. Now he had an undeclared interest in an offshore company. He says he hasn't done anything wrong, but he's facing calls for resignation in Iceland. I think the thing that struck me, though, is there are these big names in the files, and of course we're drawn to them, but it's the deals that are out there where people are just using these Panamanian trusts and foundations just kind of lie, to hide their financial business away from the authorities, to say, for example, avoid tax on a London property.
There are some people on Twitter, for example, saying, oh, what a shock. Very, very rich people hide their money and try and evade tax. Tell me something I don't know. But this does matter. Tell us why.
Yeah, I mean, it really does matter. The case that you saw before involving Ms. Olszewski, that is a key case, I think, from these files, because the headline figures, the shocking stories, they will get the headlines. But in reality, what we can see from these files is that they were offering products and deals that would, I lost my earpiece here, but that would allow you to get around international regulations on money laundering. So, for example, the UK government at the moment, they've got this list, this register of beneficial owners, and what that is meant to do is to basically allow us to see who owns UK companies, to see a public list of who's behind them. Now, in international finance, that's quite common practice, really, because if you're a bank or an accountancy firm or a lawyer, you need to know who it is that you're dealing with, because otherwise you could be unwittingly helping money laundering, tax evasion, any kind of nefarious activity. What we see in these files is a case where they're selling fake ownership details that could hide a wealthy client's money from the authorities, and that is in direct breach of the money laundering regulations.
And the company itself, what does it say? I think, yeah, I don't think you can hear us, Richard, but yeah, the company itself says it's operated beyond reproach for 40 years, actually, and, quote, they have never been accused or charged in connection with criminal wrongdoing or allegations it sold fake beneficial ownership details, and they believe those allegations are unsupported and false. We've also got a statement from HMRC. HMRC can confirm that we've already received a great deal of information on offshore companies, including in Panama, from a wide range of sources, which is currently the subject of an intensive investigation.